Everywhere GBS. Hello viewer, welcome to today's episode of Women's View. I'm your host, my name is Anne Moreni, and it's a pleasure to have you with us as always. Please remember that we are on YouTube, the handle is GBS Kenya, and kindly subscribe so that you can be able to watch us live, and also you can be able to have a look at our previous episodes. In studio with me, I have two gentlemen, and I'd like to give them this opportunity to introduce themselves, and then I will introduce the topic for today. Welcome. I'll start with the gentleman on my right.
Right. So, hi everyone. My name is Joseph Njoroge. I'm a psychology lecturer at USIU. I also, I teach psychology. I also counsel.
Okay.
I've been counseling for a while now. Okay. That is psychological counseling.
Excellent. Welcome to today's show. We're very happy that you're joining us. I also have another gentleman who is a visitor. Karibu Sana, please introduce yourself.
Good morning. My name is Wycliffe Ayoki. I work as a pastor and a counselor as well. Nice to be here.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, viewer, today's topic is we're looking at the boy-child frustrations in relationships. So, in media of late, we've been having a lot of stories where we are finding that either something is wrong in our society. When it comes to relationships, there is a problem, and that problem is resolving in a lot of matters that have to do with passion. So you find a gentleman has approached a lady, the lady has rejected the gentleman is so frustrated, he decides to kill the lady. Other times you hear that the gentleman has been told no, but he's trying to use money to buy love, the love of the girl. The money is accepted, but the love is not, it's one way. The money is accepted, the love is rejected, and then what happens? Murder, death, So there's all this that's happening in society, and because of social media, we are getting to know about a lot of such issues, and that's why we're here today. What is happening? Is it the male is having a lot of frustrations? Is it the lady who is? What is going on? So that's why I'm so happy that you're males, because you're going to give us the male perspective, which has been lacking. So yeah, welcome to the show. So tell us a little bit about your experience at USIU and in life.
Okay. Now, for me, my take on that is, we could say it's societal.
Yes.
And that maybe it's pointing out that there are many dysfunctional families out there.
Yes.
This dysfunctional family disables the children in those homes, be it the girl or the boy. And this disablement doesn't give them the wherewithal to cope with the vagaries of life, for example, rejection or whatever. Yes. That sometimes things don't always go my way. Sometimes things go the way I didn't expect. How do I cope with that? So that is not there.
Yeah.
And if you look at, for example, some characteristics in dysfunctional families, they typically sometimes talk about three rules, which are not unspoken, but people know. One, they say, don't talk.
Okay.
Don't talk.
Dysfunction, you're talking about the characteristics of dysfunctional families.
Don't talk.
Isolation.
Yeah. So it means if you go, you find they're talking, but they're talking superficial things. They say, oh, it has rained today. People don't talk about how they are feeling deep in here.
Yes.
Then don't feel. Because there's a lot of chaos in the family. If you allow yourself to feel, you'll be
in pain
hurt all the time.
Yes.
So you learn how to detach, move away. And then don't trust.
Okay.
You see? You see how core these are in a relationship?
These are the major pillars of a relationship. Talk, feel,
trust. Now, if I don't know how to do that, and I'm in a relationship, I feel so bad, I don't know how to express it.
That's true.
I've never seen like my father saying, oh, you know, when you'd say this to me, I felt very hurt.
Yes.
I was not very happy. And then they talk. Then, you know, the kids pick up. Oh, you can talk about this.
You mean when you feel that you can actually open
Yeah.
up and express yourself?
Yeah.
So basically, I like the angle that you're picking it up from. You're saying that there is a background to these issues. And you're looking at the family setup.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Wycliffe, Pastor Wycliffe, what do you think?
I think it's very true because I think you mentioned something while you were starting with the show. You said that when we talk about relationship, I give my money because I give my money.
Yes.
My money is accepted,
Yes.
but I'm rejected at the same time.
Yes.
So we find that in the society we live in today, there's a lot of conflict of interest among young people. And not to be biased, I can say that not only the male is affected, but also the female.
Yes.
Because people, they don't get their priorities right. You don't know whether you want to make money or you want to be in a relationship.
Yes.
So people tend to, young girls try to make money to cope up with the trend, everything that is happening in starting from fashion, from dress, from everything, and they tend to push away the man. So
They want his money, but they don't want him.
yeah, they want money. Everyone wants money, but they don't want the person who is giving that money. So you find that there's a lot of things that come after that. Someone will feel, I wasted my time, I wasted my money. And then we are living in the society, as he has said, there's no one to talk to.
Yes.
I could not go to my father and say, I gave my money and I'm rejected and like this, because my father doesn't have time.
Yes.
The father doesn't have time. The mother doesn't have time. Because long time ago, you'll agree with me, Anne, when someone would approach you to be in a relationship, you'd go and ask your mom.
Yes.
And your mother
Or
would
my
also-
aunt.
or your
Or
aunt,
a
or your
grandma.
elder sister.
Yes.
But we are living in a society where there is an elder sister by name, there is a mother by name, but the real role of a mother and an elder sister or an elder in the family is not felt.
Yes.
So that's why, as he said, don't talk, don't feel, don't trust. I think don't trust, it has started from, don't even trust the person who is next to you.
Yes.
Who is that person?
Yes.
You are a mentor, you are so-and-so, you are this person that you can really open your heart and speak. But we are not in such a society.
Yes.
We are in a society where you feel feelings on social media. You feel someone's heart on Facebook. And social media has got a lot of lies as well.
Yes.
No one would be able to, in a position to think that this person is suffering.
Yes.
People send signals, but who takes those signals seriously?
Correct.
There's no one to take people seriously in the society. There's no one to take young people seriously in the society. Because in one way or the other, right now we are talking and facing the fact that girls are dying.
Yes.
Women are suffering. But behind every suffering woman, I think there are men who are suffering more.
So that's true, exactly.
So
You
there's a
see,
lot of frustration in the heart of a man, and there's a lot of frustration in the heart of a woman. They don't know how to solve it, and then they resolve it with violence.
with violence, with physical means.
With the physical means.
And when it comes to physical means, of course, women, of course, are strong, but men, of course, tend to be more physically endowed.
Men cry inwardly, women cry outwardly. You see their tears. But men, you not see their tears. But I think the tear that goes inside their heart is too harsh that they cannot bear. They have reached a situation that they cannot bear. So they try to bring the pain. They're trying to show the pain that they have in their heart by putting it on that person.
By being violent.
By being violent.
And it's good. I'm very happy to hear that I'm not happy to hear, but I understand that we have dysfunctional families. But the thing is, what is going to be the way out of this situation? Because it is all right to know the cause of it, but is there a way out? Because when your family is dysfunctional, that's a fact, and that is something you cannot change. But are we going to then therefore be okay to keep seeing such scenarios and understand that, oh, don't worry, that young man is from a dysfunctional family, that young woman is from a dysfunctional family, so understand where they're coming from and move on. What happens? I mean, when you kill somebody, number one, it's criminal. You take him to court. So even the law has got a role to play. But before it gets there, yes, we understand the cause. Is there a solution that we can start? Are there steps we can start taking?
Okay, to say that as a way of explaining is not to away, like a cop out, to run away from responsibility.
Yes.
It's just to say maybe it's this, and when we identify, then we can, like you say, we can deal with it.
Yes.
So first, not every man who is rejected resorts to violence.
That's true.
Very true.
If you look, you'll find usually these are men with very low self-esteem.
Yes.
Their sense of themselves is very shaky, is not okay as a result of where they are coming from.
Exactly.
You know, and therefore maybe they get a sense of identity by this person. They show people, look, the girl I have, so I'm someone.
Yes.
When actually that feeling of being someone, being worth, needs to come from inside
Exactly.
ourselves, each and every one of us. So if that is not there, this then becomes very
shaky, unstable.
yeah, an upheaval. It becomes an upheaval that they can't deal with and now resort to that. Otherwise, people who with a self-esteem will say, you've had comments like, oh, there are many fishes in the sea.
the sea,
Yeah,
yes.
people say, well,
The beautiful ones are not yet born.
yeah, so
To give yourself a lot of time to get that person.
this is not the end of life. And still, you're not the only one of their others who care, and so on and so
Exactly.
forth. These are people who have a sense in there of worth.
Yes.
And so it's disappointing. I was hoping, but then, okay, I'll now have to let it go. It doesn't work.
Yes.
I might try to get a few people to talk to her. If she doesn't say, I'm moving on.
Exactly.
It's not working.
Yes.
So that's one. So the thing to do, if it's this man who doesn't have this sense of worth,
Yeah. How do you bring that?
yeah, to begin to work on it, to begin to work on themselves, to see how can they build it. And it's possible to work on it either through therapy or beginning to find ways to pay attention to themselves, listening to themselves, deciding what is their worth, where is their worth coming from.
Correct.
He mentioned social media and so on, which also creates its own pressure.
It does a lot. Yes.
That if I have A, B, C, D, then I'm okay. If I don't have A, B, C, then I'm not okay.
Yes.
And you see, putting my value from outside of myself.
It's very dangerous.
Yeah. Yet, we know that those of us who people believe in God, we do know the fact that you are created by a God.
Yes.
And God created you. There is a breath, there is a speck of divinity in you.
In you, yes.
That gives you worth.
Yes.
It's not about what you have or where you are. That mere fact.
The fact that you are already there, you're there, your presence, yes.
Already you are qualified. So to not only know that, to feel it here, to get a conviction that.
And that's a difference. To know is one thing, to feel is
Yeah,
another.
because I might know, but I don't feel it. So to do that might help people to, like we are doing now, to talk about it.
Yes,
to tell people, look, it's not. That's not the option. To be rejected is not the end of life.
Yeah.
There are ways. There are ways, actually, even of coping with rejection. If you Googled how to cope with
Rejection.
you will
Already,
find
you know, so many people have gone through that and overcome.
Yeah.
It's not. You're not the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I think we need to face a reality in this case.
Yes.
It's not that we don't know the problem
Yes.
that is happening in the society. We already know the problem.
Yes.
Because if we watch on news, we hear cases of murder,
Yes.
and all the time young people are involved. You find out that they fought and they could not agree, so you resort to this. We are already facing a crisis.
Yes.
But one thing that is so painful in our society right now is that we are facing a crisis, but we are acting as if everything is just fine. Everything is just normal. The family setup should come up.
Yes.
Let's go back to our values. When we go back to our values and let's start to think about, let me think about my son. Let me think about our son. Let's go back to our values and let's start bringing our children home early. Talk to them, hear them out.
Yes.
We are already facing a crisis, but the society, starting from the family, they think they have more important crises than what we are facing right now. Young girls are losing lives. It is not something very normal.
Yeah.
In a country like Kenya, which is saying that we are a Christian country, this is not something very normal. We already lost the value. And people are fighting for my space. Let me get my space. Give me my space. This is my trend. This is what I like. This is what I want to do. But who has ever come out to teach the young people, starting from the political divide,
Yes.
starting from the religion, coming to educationists, coming down to the society? Who has ever taught the children the value of relationship? Someone's want to get into a relationship because my friend whom I'm living together in a babysitter is having a girlfriend. So I want to get a girlfriend.
Yes.
And I want to get a better girl than the one that he has.
Yes.
Only saying the self-esteem.
Yes.
So when you're trying to get that better person, you try to do anything. But then that better person that you want in your own standard doesn't need you. And then you resort into what? You're already going through pain. You're rejected. I cannot achieve my dream.
Exactly.
So people, we should accept and we should agree that we are already in a crisis, and we should go back to our values.
Yes.
Long time ago in African traditional society, what used to happen? At what age, what unataka kuoa?
Yes.
Do you just walk into the girl's family and say, I want to marry her? I remember, this is a story that was told with my dad, when he wanted to marry my mother.
Yes, what happened?
My grandfather went to my mother's place. It's not my dad who went there.
Okay.
He went, he said, I've seen this one guy that I want to live with. Then my grandfather took up the initiative, the father took up the initiative to go and know those people.
Yes.
Then come back and say, I know them.
So he was very protective of
He was
his
very
son.
protective of his son.
Yes.
But nowadays,
There's an exposure.
young men, how many women do they bring home telling you that they want to marry this? He walks in with a girl, he goes out, come back with another girl, goes out until you're confused. And as a parent, as a mother, as a father, you don't want to face the crisis of telling your son, this is what you're doing is wrong.
Yes.
Because you don't have that time.
Yeah. You may not even be aware.
You may not even be
actually,
aware.
they may not be bringing them home. You may be just be flashing them out there.
Rubbing shoulders here and there.
But I like what you said, because that's one of the things that I asked about. Are we saying that, I don't know, are the hearts of men very sensitive, such that they need to be protected when it comes to these matters? Because if that's what used to happen in the olden days, that your father or your grandfather would help you in this situation.
I agree, because
I mean, that is not happening anymore.
I agree, the heart is sensitive. But right now, more than the heart, the most sensitive thing is a relationship. Getting into a relationship, it's not a contract that you'll get and expire.
Yes.
You are getting into a relationship, someone that you want to give your heart, you want to share your feelings, you want to share everything together. You are in a relationship, you are relating together.
Yes.
Whatever thing she goes through, you go through. When she's sick, you are sick. When she's broke, you are broke. You are getting into such a scenario more than business. Where you are ready to go through losses together, you are ready to make profits together, you are in what we call a relationship. So before someone gets into a relationship, they should be prepared psychologically, mentally, physically. What am I getting into?
Yes.
But nowadays, there's no that preparation.
Yeah.
You meet over a cup of coffee and you post pictures on Facebook, I'm in love. People, they don't understand the real meaning of love. What is this love?
Yes.
What is the love in this generation and the love in the past generations that we ever had?
Yes.
Why is it that in the time of my mom, my dad, I could not feel those kind of things? We could not see people killing themselves. Yes, there were relationship issues,
yes,
but we are dealing with more toxic relationship issues in this 21st century than what we saw in the 19th century or past beyond that.
Yes.
So we need to be able to face the reality and catch the cow with its own horns.
Probably that's true. And you know what? That's exactly what I'm wondering. Have we exposed our male child to a lot of something very difficult without having prepared them enough, or
First of all, I will agree that what you were saying, that there's a crisis.
Yes.
It's a crisis because every week you hear something
and that.
every week
Someone lost his life.
Yeah. So it's
and we're taking it very lightly.
It's a lot. So I'll agree about that. In terms of, personally, I don't want to say male child, female child, because nowadays, even he mentioned values.
yes,
All those things, maybe we haven't begun to see the problems with a girl.
yet
They've not come out so dramatically.
exactly.
But I would say they're there.
A lot of them.
Yeah, they're there also. And this has to do with values.
Values,
That
yes.
he even talked about, love. that what do we see as love?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Okay.
Is it that someone I'm giving something to should reciprocate? Is that love?
Mm-hmm.
Is it something I buy?
Exactly.
By this or the other?
Mm-hmm.
Or how does it come about, this love? So that's something we need to be very clear. Then we live in a very, very materialistic society.
That's true.
Where there's pressure. We
Yes.
want to see you in a certain way. There are things we are looking at.
Exactly.
Materially, what do you have? Do you have this? Do you have that?
What are you driving? What are
Yeah.
you wearing?
Yes.
Where
Yeah.
are you dining?
Yeah.
A
So-
lot of flashiness.
All this now puts pressure again on everybody, both the boy child and the girl child.
Yes.
And where some of us are not able to cope with these pressures, then things give and we begin to see murders.
Yes.
We begin to see these tragedies we are seeing. Now, the fact that it's happening a lot,
So frequently,
it
yes.
might be saying that society, something is very, very wrong.
Yes.
Now, we can even talk about role models. Like, what do I get, where did I get the idea of love from? Is it
Who is
from
my role model?
My role model. Is it my father? Is it my uncle? Is it social media?
Yeah.
Is it what I see on TV?
Those dramatic
Yeah,
movies,
movies,
what are they called? Those Italian ones and Spanish ones.
yeah,
So operas. Oh my God.
Is that where I'm getting my
Or probably am I just being an adolescent?
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Yes. The source.
Yeah,
Of the
so because
definition.
that will now inform my understanding of it.
Yes.
And yet love, the way we understand it, when now I kill someone I love, that's sickness.
That's not love.
It is not love.
Yeah,
That's a disease of the
That's a
heart.
disease. That's become a disorder.
Yeah.
Because you don't kill someone you love because they rejected you.
Yes.
You know, that's not it. And in love, the actual love, there is a lot of self-sacrifice,
Exactly.
self-giving,
give
and
and
not
take.
always insisting on having my way.
Exactly,
That-
and not looking at it as an investment. That's what if I send you some money and you take, and I don't get back something. Now it is a loss, and even if it's not giving, it's like for you to give, you
Actually,
must
love
get
is
back.
not a business. You're not establishing a business where you need a health permit and those kind of things. You are getting to live you are getting into a position to live with someone.
Yes.
You are going to live with this person. You do everything for this person. That person does everything for you. Yes, sometimes you'll differ in opinions. Sometimes you need to differ into taste because I have my taste, I have my feeling. My wife is completely different. But because I love my wife, I believe that she loves me, then we get into a place whereby we will have conflicts, lots and lots of conflicts. It doesn't mean that now when we're in love, there will be no conflicts.
Yeah.
There will be no disagreement. But that disagreement, that conflict does not go beyond our love.
Yes.
That is something that is putting us more close and more together. But in this society, people are relating love with money.
And another thing that's happening that is very worrying to me, okay, I like what you said earlier, that not all men who undergo rejection react in such a catastrophic way. But when you look at social media, I don't know whether you have noticed a trend where the men are in support of the men who are doing these things. You know, they're like, yeah, if I have paid your school fees and then you have left me, I met you when you were poor and I educated you or whatever, and now you've left me, yeah, you might as well die.
but
Which means that though they are not doing it, they are in support of it. Is that normal?
So
Because
that's
you
why-
can say that
that's
the
why
men who are
the-
doing it are
that's why-
psychopaths,
that's why I have
but
a
they're being
question.
supported.
That's why I have a question. You saw this young girl who was poor.
Yes.
Then you wanted to take this young girl to school. You wanted to educate this child for a better life. But you never indicated that you are paying dowry. You never indicated that you are educating your wife. If you're educating your wife, then you should go to the family. You should make it clear. She also know I'm married and my husband is busy educating me for our future, for our life. But you're busy giving your money, you're busy giving everything to this young girl so that she can have a bright future. But this young girl is thinking about having the future with another person.
Yes.
He just-
All
he just-
the wives are stepping
She's
stones.
just regarding you as a good Samaritan. These steps are different.
Yes.
And then now, you misunderstand that
Yeah.
fact.
Let me come in. This question you're asking about, I don't know whether it's copycatting or what it is. When I was going to work this morning on one of the radio stations, they brought up this discussion about women complaining they are being grouped in the matatus. People
Grouped,
touching,
yes,
grouping,
yes,
grouping
yes.
them, touching them,
Yes.
inappropriate and so on. Then in comes this boy who said, even men, someone came on to him and wanted a phone number and so on and so forth. But then what I wanted to comment on is that someone else called and said, oh, you know, even when that happens, you should look the way the girls are dressed. You should. Now they started blaming
the
girl.
victim.
Yeah. But luckily the presenter didn't allow it. He cut him down and said, no, we can't have that.
Yes.
But to go back to your question, that how come when you look at the social media, many people really seem not to be very empathic. They will bash the victim.
Exactly.
They will applaud.
She deserved it.
Yeah. Which is again telling us we're in a lot of trouble.
Yes.
Because if that's how most young men see things, then there is a problem.
There is a big
the
problem.
way they understand even a relationship. What is a relationship?
Yes.
Yeah, it's something mutual.
Yes.
Even the understanding of it is wrong.
That's true.
It's like, he's saying it's not a business. It's like
not a business, yeah.
it's a
An
transaction. Because I've given you this, now
You need to give me this.
You
owe me.
And you're going to pay with your life. If you're not
you have
careful.
to love me, you have now to like me.
Yes.
That's not how it works.
No,
But now it's very scary to see that so many young men will support that kind of thinking.
Yeah.
But now my question again comes here. Young men, they see it like that. We can see they're fighting for it all over. But before they began to see it like that, from whom did they learn from?
Yes.
There might be people in the society before them, and they might have seen that. We are in such a very free society. We are in I think I was having a conversation saying we are in a man-eat-man society.
That's correct.
We are living in a very dangerous time because they must have seen this from someone.
They must have.
They
Yes,
must
yes,
have
yes, yes.
heard this from the person next door,
Well,
or from the person
we've
next to
seen-
them.
We've seen socially, for example, bishops caught in very
That's what I wanted to come up.
very embarrassing situations.
With young girls.
Yeah, with young girls. And
We've seen
the way-
sponsors.
And
Yes,
the way
yes.
they talk
But they're also
even
women sponsors as
people's
well.
wives, we've seen.
Yes.
We've seen, politicians
Using money.
looting, stealing.
Yes.
So how does a young man now what does a young man make of things? And young men, especially adolescents, they see the world in black and white.
Yes.
They see good, bad. They don't see the gray.
The in between.
They're very
That's good.
idealistic.
Yes.
So what does a young man make of that? They say, what's the point?
What's the
I
point of
might as
living
well
like-
get what I can because it seems like that's it.
Yes.
I get what I can out of society as much as possible.
Yes.
Because, hey, everybody's doing it.
Yes.
So let's say
they're
they go
able
his
to-
way.
They're able to see that people who are called sponsors, let's talk about male sponsors. I understand that there are female sponsors as well.
Yes.
But the male
There are
sponsors,
many of
what
them.
do? They use money to get this to get sexual favors from girls.
And-
so I think that now makes them think that what they need is money. Nobody has also taught the young men because the same girl who is going to be getting money from this sponsor is going to be getting love from somebody else.
Yes.
So the way that society...
And they're going to compare the love with the size of the pocket.
Exactly. So there's,
So
there's a lot of confusion.
this young man is selling sweets in the matatu in the morning to take you out for dinner, and that sponsor is stealing money from the bank to buy you a car. So this man is struggling to keep you. That man is struggling to destroy you. In one way or the other, you are getting destroyed. Because this young man who is struggling, hustling with the tough economic times that we have, he's busy struggling because he has a future. He's looking at the future. You are the woman of my dream. Then you waste it. And there's this young man on the other side, there's no one to talk to. The father, he cannot talk about that to the father. He cannot talk about that to the brother. He cannot talk about that to the pastor, to the bishop.
Because the bishop has also been caught up
Because
to
they also have scandals. So we already.
so crazy.
So one thing that I'm saying in this case is we are already a society that is already spoiled. We spoiled our society.
Yes.
When we have spoiled our society, we should not blame anyone. Let's find where we spoiled. Let's find where is the mess. Then let's fix it from that point.
And
What
that's
I want to say
facts.
is, we are not blaming. What I want to say is this, which is a good thing, I think, that each and every one of us is able to generate a sense of worth from within themselves.
Yeah.
And if we can be able to teach that I will not become a man because I got this girl.
Yes, that's
No,
true.
she won't complete me. No human being, that human being has never been born who can complete another.
Yes.
So those are myths we need to discuss.
Those are myths, yes.
Yeah, that therefore, because I have worth, yes, I'd like to be with this person, even if she doesn't want to, I retain my worth because it was not hinged on that.
Yes.
So that is where the problem is. Thinking that I will feel better, I'll get more worth by getting hitched to some girl or whatever.
Yes.
That is not true.
Yes.
That is a myth. I'm just imagining. It's not true. So if we can bust that and people begin to say, well, sitting here in this chair, I do happen to be I'm worth something as a man.
Exactly, yes.
It would be great if I can share this with someone. I'll look.
Yes.
And I'll try to find someone we share quite ideals together to see whether we can have something.
Yes.
But in the meantime,
I am complete.
I am complete.
I am worthy.
Yeah, I don't have to get money so that I impress her,
Yes.
or get this so that I can now buy their affection or buy their love.
The favor.
Exactly.
Or
And
something
you know
like
what? I also like to be quite futuristic in my way of looking at things. Yes, we have this male who is lacking self-worth. Let's also talk to the parents, because we still have young men who are also going to grow up.
Yeah, we have children.
How do you when a child is born, what are the things that you do to make them feel they're worthy as a parent? So that when they grow up, they already grow up feeling their worth. Their worth is innate. Because already you're saying that the problem is that men are not feeling like their worth. Their esteem is down. So that's one category. That's one thing to deal with. But how do we inculcate this worth in them when they're young, so that as they grow up, they feel okay? I like that you're a psychologist, so I am expecting ABCD. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably you might ask yourself, what did you do to raise your children to make them feel
I have
that way?
children. That's why I'm asking
Yes.
this. This is a very self-interest kind of thing, because I have boys.
And they're also
I want to
growing.
know should I be doing.
Okay. Now you see, kids learn more by doing, not by seeing, not by what you say.
Yes.
Because first we need to bear in mind that communication, 80% of it is nonverbal.
True.
So kids do observe what's happening between this significant couple, the dad and
And the
mom.
mom, yes.
Now, whatever happens there if what's happening is not very healthy, will affect children.
Yes.
Like if there's conflict between mom and dad, kids being self-centered, like young kids, they think it's them. They think
they're to blame.
If I can be very good,
Yeah.
extremely good, then mom and dad will be good as fine.
Yes.
Because you see, this
And
magical thinking
that
of
thought
kids.
is just, you're born like that.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
So when they do it and still the conflict continues, how do they feel? I failed.
Yes, they feel like
I failed because now look, it's still going on. Then as now they grow up, they will watch how the parents resolve problems. If dad comes and shouts and says, I don't want to ask me that, I don't want to
Kick the table.
If that's what they see,
Yes.
They will definitely grow up to be
Yeah.
that kind of a person.
yeah,
that's normal to
they're
them.
taking it on.
Yes.
And that you know, kids, it's uncanny, but kids take on the shame of their parents. The things that they are doing that are shameful, they take on that.
Yes.
They feel warped. They feel not okay. Something is off.
Yes.
I'm not okay. They know instinctively what I've just witnessed
It is wrong.
shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
They can't tell you, they can't articulate it, but they get it that that is not okay.
Something is off here.
Yeah, you will see, for example, if mom is battered, maybe emotionally or verbally, you will see even a 3-year-old coming to try and soothe mom.
Exactly,
And
to rub her
say,
back.
Mom, you're okay. You want me to do this. They want to now
Exactly.
mother the mother.
They want to be there.
Yeah, because of what has happened. So those things are not good. But what is good is where a couple has an open communication. They talk. When they have an issue, they resolve.
Yes.
And something you mentioned, they have time for
For
their
the children,
kids.
yeah.
Because when I'm so busy, I never sit with my kids. How does a kid interpret that? I'm not good enough.
I'm not good enough.
If I was, my dad would have
Actually,
time
they would
for
think
me.
that when you don't have time for them, they would think that they are not important.
Actually, they think that the
So
thing
you
you're
kill
doing
their
is more important.
self-esteem.
Yes, yes.
They'll think that I'm not important. That's why my dad is never there. My mom is never there.
Yeah.
So there's something which is more important than
Than
me. Then they will also begin to focus on what is more important than them.
Yes.
What is more important than their children. For example, when I meet with the girls,
Yes.
youth, female, they say like this: Pastor, when I want to get married, at least I want someone like my father. And men, they're saying, I want a woman like my mother. So when you hear such kind of things, it will also show you the kind of relationship that they had with their parents.
Yes.
The father was always there for the daughter. The mother was always there for the son. They would at least have a time to talk.
Yes.
That's why he's looking for someone who would replace the father.
Yes.
The father to replace the father.
And it better be the father, the real father, not the father they've created in their mind.
Yes, it better
Because
be
that's
the
another
real
story.
father.
And guess
So
what? We need to
that's-
take a break. Time is running. So, viewer, we'll be right back. Keep it here. This conversation is very interesting. And we'll be right back after the break. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Zawadi. At Mahalaim, I studied to qualify for the IGCSE through the Cambridge International Educational Program.
We Mahanaheim International High School students enjoy extracurricular activities such as joining GBS TV club, taekwondo, cultural dance, orchestra, swimming, foreign languages, community service, and much more. I believe this unique experience I gained here will go a long way into strengthening the future me.
The teachers and other ministers at Mahanaim spared no pain in running with us until the end of the mile, until we secured all of our goals. And that's how I passed my IGCSE exams.
Mahanaim International High School cares about my future. Beyond our education, Mahanaim nurtures us to have bright and healthy mind so that we could become great future leaders.
People have dominance over themselves. Why? Daddy, no money. Give me money, I'll buy for you. Hey, Daddy, I say I don't have money. Hey, I know, Daddy.
Can the Ethiopian change his skin? Or the leopard its spots?
예수님이 우리의 모든 죄값을 다 지불하시기 때문에 예수님 다 이루었다라고 말씀하셨잖아요.
So Jesus paid for all the wages of our sin. That's why he could say it is finished.
Yesu alipa mshahara wa dhambi ya deni zetu lote, ndiposa akasema kwamba imekwisha.
하나님은 슈퍼컴퓨터와 같은 분이에요.
Everyone, God is like the supercomputer.
Upendo wa Mungu ni kama hii supercomputer.
Good morning and welcome to Chungu cha Jamii.
The reason is your home is the way it is because of the way you have led your home.
Wife material.
If you want a real wife, you have to go back to Shago.
Okay.
And no one can date a broke guy.
Really?
That is how we are wired.
Yes.
Man is the one who should provide.
Who said that man should be the one to provide? He made it your fault.
Betty. I was like, what?
Really?
But she.
You marry for companion, not for money, not for kids. Is there a man that is not enough?
Really humbled me, cut me deep, and just gave me a big slap on my cheek.
Are you a Christian?
Yes, I am.
Christianity is based on love and forgiveness.
Sometimes people will tell you that this is who you are, and sometimes you're like, no, I'm not like her. It has to be in agreement. Is what my viewer is looking out for.
Yes.
Viewer, I hope you have really had a lovely and educative time. Thank you so much.
And this is G Radio.
guys, and welcome. This is G Radio, #1 TV show, and we're coming live at GBS TV. And I'm your host, Isaac Tabitha.
I'm the co-host, Evan Tinyari. And as usual, we have our DJ Deco. You can also send your views on my Instagram page and Tinyari_Evo.
And also you can get me on our Facebook page as Isaac Tabitha. Thank you so much, guys.
Keep it here.
How many of you use your real names on Facebook? Wengine ni Sweetie Pretty.
You must succeed in being an eagle and not a chicken.
I'm seeing myself owning the biggest media house in Africa. Yes, I could employ you, in fact. Yes.
All right, now it is going to another direction. But that's a question.
When you are born and when you grow up, now you do the work. You become a person who likes the country. You understand, right? I mean, not getting a job at Kenya Power, right?
And you know what? Who you are online is exactly who you are offline. And who you are offline is who you are online.
여러 군데 가서 강연을 많이 해보는데
So I've been to many places to give lectures.
우나일레 와서 이러면
Whenever I say "Unaile wa sasa,"
눈썹으로 인사를 대답을 해.
they respond with their eyebrows.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back, viewer. Thank you so much for joining us once again. We are discussing the ways that the boy child is handling frustrations in relationships, and we're looking at ways that we can equip them better, and not just the boy child, our society, because we've agreed that it's a societal problem. So welcome, and keep it here. So, gentlemen, let's continue. We basically have, I think one thing we've basically agreed is that the society is having a challenge, and we shouldn't blame it on one gender as opposed to the other, because it's a societal problem. But just before we took a break, I think we're looking at solutions, yeah, because we're looking at how can we make the people talk more, feel more, and trust more. What are some of the mechanisms that we need to push?
Okay, one way would be like use of social media. If we can, like media like this,
yes,
to get the message out there that it's okay to talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay to even address this the elephant in the room.
Yes.
Like, how do you deal with rejection?
Yes.
To be rejected doesn't mean now you become less of a man. That these things happen.
Yeah.
Because not everybody will like you. So to stimulate these kinds of conversations robustly out there in the media, so that we give people ideas about how to maybe cope with them if in case things to do with rejection happens.
Yes.
That could be one of the things I would suggest.
Exactly. Because that will create an environment where people are free to share. And sometimes you tend to think that when you're going through something, it's only you. But if you can get people sharing, like, before I met your mother, maybe this is the father telling the young man, before I met your mother, by the way, I tried this one and it didn't work, but hey, it's okay. In fact, now that I look back, I'm like, thank God it didn't work. I was heartbroken, but, I came to meet your mother or whatever, and we are happy moving on. What are some of the other solutions that we can give
when
our
we
young
talk
men?
about society, we should ask ourselves one question. Who is this society? Because we say society.
I know.
Society. But who is society?
Yes.
Let's narrow it down, starting from me, from you,
yes,
from us. what are the experience? What are my experience as I meet with people and talk to people? What are some of the problems that people face that they bring to you, and how do you handle them? Because in one way or the other, we have a problem.
Yes.
But there are those people who bring their problem, which means there are those people who need help.
Yes.
Can we be able to share their success story? I had this problem. I had this kind of a conversation. This is my story. I overcame this. You can also overcome this.
Yeah.
I was suffering from a broken relationship. I was hurt. Probably I was left, or I left this other person. What led to this? Where did I go wrong? What is my story? What is your story?
Exactly.
If we are able to share my story, let me assume in a situation whereby I'm not sharing that with my son, or probably my dad did not share that with me,
Yes.
or probably I'm not able to go to my house and have a meeting and say that we need to talk about this. What is your problem? What is going on? What is it that you're facing that you need our help? But if we are being there for others, then I think one of the greatest solutions to this problem, to everything, let's share our story.
Yeah.
As much as there are people who are suffering already, but there are people also, there are majority of people who went beyond that suffering.
Yeah.
Why don't we call them and talk to them and hear their story and share that story with others? That will go a long way.
Yes.
It doesn't cost money. It's not something that costs money. But if we regard this as an important thing, and we want to go beyond it, we want to solve this problem for our nation, for our families, for our children, for our future, then it is the time to come out of our busy schedule.
Exactly.
And talk. Let's
more.
have meetings. Let's talk. Let's meet over a cup of coffee. People meet over a cup of coffee to discuss business because there's money in it. Why don't you meet over a cup of coffee to discuss, my son is like this.
Yes.
My daughter is like this. I met with someone who is like this. For example, one girl told me, she's almost at the age of marriage. And she said, Pastor, I want to get married to someone in New York. So I asked him, what is the problem with men in Kenya?
Okay. She wants somebody from... That's exactly what you're talking about earlier. That sometimes you sabotage the relationship. Yeah, please tell us a little bit about that, that thought. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you see, again, we do have situations where people don't even know what's good for them.
Yes.
Yeah? And it's because they are not in touch with themselves. They're going by the waves. They're following the waves.
Yes.
And so situations like those happen where someone will have a suitor who is very very considerate.
Yes.
But at that point in time,
they can't see it.
They have really no, they jettison that and don't bother.
Yes.
Now, there's also a caution I wanted to make when I said social media. I don't want to leave it to the social media because it needs to be regulated and professional.
Yes.
There's one registration I know where now it doesn't allow these talk shows where you just share and you'll hear someone getting bashed. You are a stupid man. How can you do that? If I knew, I would have done blah, blah. You see,
Exactly.
so they make it worse. It needs to be done in a professional way.
Yes.
Someone who is professional handling these issues.
Okay.
That's one.
And able to control it.
Yeah, we can also use churches where young people come. And when we talk about youth and so on, that youth that is 25 and so on
Exactly,
up there,
yes.
to organize forums where they can interact, have forums where they talk about relationships, and have robustly go for that.
Yes.
To sensitize them. Have another forum where we sensitize families. Yeah? He's saying society is him, me, and you. Us. We need to see these things have an impact. Politicians need to tell them, please behave yourselves.
I know.
Because when you do the things, these
That's
things,
a place where we need a miracle.
young people lose hope.
They do. But just by watching.
Yeah.
And we also need to encourage therapy, I think. Basically, in your experience in the last 17 years, what do you think is the uptake of therapy by youth or by Kenyan? Is it increasing?
Yeah, like over here in USIU, its uptake is very high. Okay. They have, I think they have 4 or 5 employed therapists, and then they have interns who have done masters and are going to intern there, who are inundated with cases. So it means the uptake is really going up.
That's good.
Which is a good thing, because then people can begin to sort out their problems.
Yeah.
And even to define love. There's one person, I think it's called Scott Peck, who defined love as extending myself for the spiritual development of the other. I'm extending to help this person reach their potential.
Yes.
Love is not about taking. I love her, therefore I must get this from her.
Exactly.
Because I love her. That could be defined as something else. Maybe it could be lust or whatever. So maybe this is a very profound way of defining it. But we also need to check what do we understand by a relationship.
Yes, we need to go to the basics.
Yeah,
back
it
to
is
the
supposed to be
basics.
something mutual. I'm giving something in here, not material, mostly of myself, and then we are sharing. I'm sharing my life with this person.
Yes, and they're doing the same back to you.
Yes, it's mutual.
Yeah, so that even if somebody receives your money, for example, don't take that to mean that they love you.
Yeah.
There are other indicators which you need to be aware of as
Which
well.
would be more important.
Exactly.
It's not something I can buy. It doesn't mean because someone took me to a hotel or flew me in an aeroplane or a helicopter to Mombasa and spent all this much on me equals they love me. Not necessarily.
They might probably want to use you.
Yes,
They might to them.
And
They
you
might
have
have.
seen-
You might pay for it.
have seen many
This
cases of people
millions,
being used.
I can use this money. I can put the, because I have so much. This is what I'll use to get this girl. So really, it's not love. But if that's the way I'll think, oh, I'm loved so much because look what he has done.
Yes.
So we need to really be sure what is, and we are not. We also need to put God in the picture.
Yes, that's important.
Yeah, we put God in the picture because He's the one who created us. He's the one who even said we need to created Adam and Eve.
Yes.
And what the helper of the
And
other.
let this be your parting shot.
Yes. To live together, share together, and you know, dominate the world together. So God also needs to come into the picture. What does He want? What is His definition of a relationship? What does He expect about two people living together?
Yes.
And if we try to live to surrender our will to His, chances are we won't go wrong.
Chances are we're going to get into the right track. Give us your parting shot, Pastor. We pray.
I think that is too fast.
I know, time is up. Can you imagine?
But one thing that I want to say, having spoken about all these kind of things, I think speaking is not enough.
Yes.
Action is very important. To change one's mind is also very important. What changes the mind is important. But the one thing that I want to talk about, relationship is not about contract. Relationship is about give myself into it. And love is very expensive.
Yes.
Love is more expensive than gold. That's not something that I would just give to anyone, and it's not something that I would just take from anyone.
Yes.
But then I need to get the right person, and I need to get the right thing, and go until the end.
Yes.
Love covers all things. Love is everything. With love, we fight and we live.
Yeah.
So I think we just need to get our priorities right, and we need to fight for a better society.
Yeah.
Yes.
Having said that, I think there's also the importance of, as a male or female, protecting yourself. So maybe on another show we need to discuss what are the signs that should be able to tell you
that this guy is going to harm you.
person is not right for me.
Yes.
And that I should leave running like yesterday, so that you don't find yourself in circumstances that are very life-threatening. You know.
Yes.
Are there certain? I always feel like there are subtle hints, certain signs that sometimes you don't really quite get, either because we're in love or whatever. Sometimes you get a gut feeling, but then
You're a
you
human
don't.
being. Don't ignore your feelings.
So guess what, viewer? That probably is going to be the next topic of conversation, because if I ask that question, we're going to need another hour to unravel it. But thank you so much for joining us. I'm happy to hear that there's hope. There's a way that we can get out of this situation. And the first thing is just to accept that there's a crisis, and then we look at the steps of getting out of it. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you. Bye.